Hey guys, and welcome back to Agrarian Skies. I just drank some coffee, so my voice is a little broken. I think first thing I wanted to do is make a bunch of barrels. About half a stack for the moment, that should suffice. And then this stuff. Need it all. Need the obsidian as well. Now, I think first thing would be making 10 pistons. Like so. Don't care about the rest for the moment. Then I need what? Yeah, wait. That'll do. And I need 10 of these structural upgrades MK1 and 10 of these structural upgrades MK2. 5 of each actually, not 10. And then I need the obsidian and a piston above and below. Go away everyone. Like so. To make void upgrades. I don't really need the barrels right now. This is to, as I've explained, improve this because I'm above 10 stacks now on some of these items, so I just want to make sure I don't get overflow, basically. So I add all these, and I have to add a structural upgrade MK1 before I can add the MK2 upgrade. And they each give a certain amount of upgrade slots. And the first one gives 1 slot. The second one will then push my total to 3 slots. Actually, let me show you. I mean, the first few are not so difficult to make. The next one then requires gold. I could make these as well, and that would push the total up to 7 slots. Next one is diamonds. I don't have enough for those yet, giving me 15 slots. For some reason, then I get fluxed electrum. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I think fluxed electrum is probably harder to get than diamonds. Giving me 31 slots. I can push the total up to 63 slots using manilium and manilin something. That's even more difficult to get, definitely out of my reach at this point. And finally, enderium. Which, that one isn't so bad, really. You just need platinum, tin, and ender pearls. And some processing, of course. But that's just fine. And that would push my total up to 127 stacks. But really, I only need, currently, the void upgrades, and they need 2 slots. So the first upgrade only gives me one slot. That's not enough. But with the second one I then have 3 slots, so that's fine. And now each of these have a void upgrade, which means that once they're full, any additional items that try to go in will just get deleted, and I don't get overflow into this chest. And the mob heads, I don't get enough of those to justify making that change just yet. But there's something else I wanted to show you. Ta-da! My Tinker's Construct Smeltery. I'm using a crucible with lava underneath to basically supply my tank with lava, which is why I have all these torches down. The lava creates fire close around to it, so it tries to set stuff on fire. But when there's a torch on this ground, for example on this location here, it can't set it on fire, so the torch prevents fire from spawning here, which means by just putting down a bunch of torches in this corner, the lava can't actually set anything on fire, so it's safe. It's kind of a silly little trick, but it works, so I'm rolling with it. So Tinker's Construct is a cool little mod for smelting, making weapons. It's really quite fun. Now the way you build this multi-structure is, I think it needs to be 3x3. I don't think there's any other sizes, but you need to make a 3x3 base plate thing, I guess, out of seared bricks. And you could use the chiseled or the cracked ones you got from the quest reward as well. And then you build a wall around it. And note that in order to show this as well as preserve resources, you don't need the corners. You just build these walls, and they don't have to be 3 blocks high. I think pretty much any height works. I think there's an upper limit, but even if you only make them 1 level high, that will, once the structure is complete, that will function. Now, the way I'm doing the lava supply, because you need a smeltery controller somewhere, I think in the base level, I'm not certain if it works higher up, and you need a seared tank. This is essentially the fuel that this uses. It uses liquid lava. Well, lava is always liquid. Anyway, the way I keep this topped up is by using a fluid duct from a crucible. Crucible's just constantly making lava from cobblestone, which is supplied by the extruder. And yeah, that's really all there is to this. And then on the second level, that's at least the way I do it, I put smeltery drains. So these are what you need to actually get items out, or liquids actually, out of the smeltery. And I made 6 of them with casting basins below and 3 of them with casting tables below. And we'll see what that all does and means in just a moment. Now I just wanted to go in, see this is how it looks like from the inside. I put down a torch up there, because if I didn't, then this down here would be legitimate spawning locations. These down here would be legitimate spawning locations. And mobs could spawn in here, and they would die because inside a smeltery is not really a good place to live, and I would get blood in my smeltery, which I don't want. So I just made it lit up, that way nothing can spawn in here. I believe you can use sort of seared windows, I think. Let me just check. Seared window, yes. These are basically just a transparent version of the seared bricks, so I could use those to make a light source from outside shine into here. So that would be like a glass block, and a torch placed outside of that tank, out of that seared glass, would provide light in here as well. That would be another option of doing that. But since I don't really need this super large, this is just fine. The higher it is, the more slots it has, and we'll see how that all works in just a moment. Because the great thing about it is, it has a sort of inbuilt ore duplication, so I get twice as much stuff out of it. And the first thing I need is, I need 3 ingots of any type really, and 3 aluminum brass. Now I didn't show how to make this. I guess I probably should. In order to make it, you need 3 bits of aluminum. I should have 3 in here. And 1 bit of copper. And the ratio is what counts, so it needs to be 3 aluminum to 1 copper. It doesn't actually matter. These technically, if I put them into a normal furnace, this would be 3/4 of a full ingot. But the smeltery doesn't care, so I just put these in. You get a small little progress indicator, I guess, and the aluminum will go faster than the copper because it's easier to smelt. I think that's fully intentional. Tree farm's doing great as well. I made all these barrels, by the way, because I intend to move this temporary setup here. And I've also added a second autonomous activator, by the way, just to make it faster. I think I showed that already. Whenever I have a stack of any of these, I just make them into the gravel, and I don't go any further from that, actually. The gravel is just fine for the moment. Shouldn't really put the barrels in there. They can go in here. And all of this I will probably smelt up in between episodes at some point. And you should be done. Okay, so this hasn't been enough apparently. So you can see I have only 1 ingot, 4 nuggets and 8 MB of aluminum, and 4 nuggets and 8 MB of copper. So I think I need to double that again. I'll just see how that goes. I thought it didn't matter, but I think to some extent it might do. So it displays that I could have molten aluminum brass. This is basically it telling me that these 2 metals, the copper and the aluminum, They do make an alloy together, but I can't currently make it because I don't have enough of the required metals to begin with. I think it might require full ingots at least. So remember, four of the broken ores were 1 ingot in my standard smeltery, standard furnace setups. So 2 of these broken copper ores will make 1 ingot in here because it's twice as efficient. It doubles my yield. The mob farm is coming along just fine. I have almost 4 stacks of ender pearls, and since only one pulverizer is running, and not even all the time because it's pretty much full, I really don't need both of these ender generators anymore, and the bottom one's also full. And this is going great. 8 emeralds, 4 diamonds. I'm probably going to switch back to making dust quite soon, because I'll actually do that now. I have enough diamonds for the moment, so I'm telling you to wait for a high redstone signal, which means he's not doing anything anymore. And so once the activators are empty now, that is that. Okay, I now have 4 ingots of aluminum brass. Now, the way this works is kind of a simplified version of what a real smeltery does, I guess. I put down stuff on these casting tables, in this case aluminum ingots, right? Or were they tin ingots? Yeah, aluminum. And they look different because I made these these are Tinker's Construct aluminum ingots. They are different from the ex nihilo ones in terms of how they look, but they function exactly the same. Any recipe that can use the ex nihilo ones can use these as well. And now I pour the aluminum brass on top of them. And that gives me these ingot casts. They don't stack. And now if I pour more aluminum brass into them, it gives me ingots. And this works for any metal. So I'm talking quite a lot now, and it might not be that interesting, but I want to make sure that everyone watching these really understands how the mods I'm using work. So let's say next I'll go for gold. Why not? And you can use gold as well to make these ingot casts, but gold is actually quite bad. The aluminum brass only uses up aluminum and copper, so quite cheap. And you need twice as much gold to make an ingot cast than you need of the aluminum brass. So, but actually, I want these to. It's just an aesthetic choice, but I think if I place them like this, it'll be better. No, is it a sort of direction thing? I think these have a direction, but apparently I can't influence it. I don't know. I would prefer it if the ingot casts were rotated 90 degrees, but I'm not certain if I can influence that. I could probably. Let's try that. I'll swap them with these casting basins, and I'll show you what the casting basins do in just a second. Now you go here, and you go here. Yeah, that's better. That's what I wanted to see. These might just have to do with the actual direction I'm facing. Now, this is done. So 32 ingots of gold, and remember, I only put in 16 of the gold or gravel stuff, so very nice. Now 32 ingots. I can also make blocks directly from this. So each block of gold obviously takes 9 ingots. So 3 blocks makes 27, means 27 ingots, and leftovers I'll have to make in the ingot casts. But if I pour the metal into a casting basin, I will get the appropriate block directly, which is quite nice. Can I break this? No, I cannot. Can you break it? Nope. Okay, so the block of gold is going to stay there for the foreseeable future. I do that by accident sometimes. Now, making the ingots from this system is a bit of a pain because it takes quite a while. It's now empty. Of course, this works just fine. They're just normal metal ingots and blocks and such. So it just works very well. There is one thing I can do in addition to that, which I want some iron. Do I have? I keep using up the iron I get, so don't currently have much of it. In here I have a pickaxe head pattern. Let me make a part from that, and that is a stone pickaxe head. Now this, as you can see, it can't be used to actually make tools, but it can only be used to make casts, which is nice. It tells us that we can use it for that. I think I also need one aluminum brass. Don't need the aluminum. What's a repair material? Flint. Okay, I have tons of flint now, so I actually have more than I'll ever need, probably. So I can do this and this, making it fully repaired. That's what I require. Essentially, I'm looking for a way to get rid of that gold block right now that I accidentally placed. I think probably iron is currently best I can do. Yeah, let's go for iron. I should have enough for a... Yeah, I'll just use up these things. You eat this and give me... No, that should be fine. And I don't need to put in the ore, like the blocks in. I can also put the crushed and pulverized and broken stuff in, and it smelts those up just fine. Also need this smolten. You know what I mean. And now instead of an ingot cast, I want to put down this. And I'll have to wait for this to be molten. And this will probably be an episode that I will just record in one sitting, because this mod is a little intricate, and as I said, I want to make sure it's fully understood, because I don't want to... I will try to avoid putting you in front of a machine that you don't understand and telling you, okay, this works, just deal with it. Now I have the aluminum brass, 1 ingot. I'll make an ingot cast from that. Actually, not an ingot cast, but a pickaxe head cast. And this works just like the ingot, except I pour a different material into it. It requires only 1 material, so I only need 1 ingot of iron to make this. I can do it just like this, and now I have an iron pickaxe head. And there should be 4 more ingots left in here, so... the problem is that, or one problem is that this machine automatically makes the alloys whenever it can. So, if I put in 2 metals at once that can make an alloy, it will make an alloy. And I don't always want that. So for the moment, I want to make sure that I only put in metals simultaneously that don't make alloys. And... no, the tool station, that's the one, I think. I should be able to now replace this, making the mining level that of tin. And now this pick of splinter dreams, which now requires iron to repair. But it should be capable of breaking this block, yes. I mean, I could have broken it with another tool, but it would have gone afterwards, so... And by the way, the stone pickaxe head has no further use. Okay. In between episodes I will go through all this stuff and smelt it up and make it into ingots. And probably through all the broken and crushed and pulverized stuff as well. You should now be done, yes. And so this thing will now slowly run out of stuff. And I should have a stack of the iron now, yes. There. Oh, stack of flint as well. So yeah, the flint is actually becoming a bit of a pain because I have way more than I need, and there's not much use for it. Flint. I mean, I can make tools out of it, but not very good ones. And apart from that, the uses for flint, obviously flint and steel and arrows, but this, you need maybe 2 of those ever. I mean, there are some uses for making fire, but they're limited, so you don't end up using lots of these. Arrows, obviously, my mob farm provides more than enough of those. Can make microblock saws. Kind of interesting. Pulverizers, of course, but I have 4 of those already. Need them to make this stuff, but we're miles away from that. Can make more flint out of it. Again, miles away from that. Can make wool back into string, but pulverizers can do so too. I can make leather from rotten flesh and flint. That's actually kind of useful. Leather will be an issue eventually. And that's it. So flint, pretty much useless. Now, there is that. I don't think I actually have anything else to show right now. No, don't think so. You're doing just fine. I have almost 7 buckets of lava in here. So if I need more lava, by the way, I can always now just use the bucket, get it out of here. And that's what I used to make obsidian as well. I made obsidian in that igneous extruder back here, because it's actually finished. The gold chest is full of stuff. Ta-da! Almost tempted to make it into a diamond chest, but quite frankly, I think for the moment at least, that's enough stone. I also wanted to see how my dirt was doing. Oh, perfect. Lots and lots of dirt. Yeah, I mean, that's not enough to build the really big stuff, but I don't have any immediately gigantic projects coming up, really. Let's see, I actually have 2 quests with unclaimed rewards. Oh yes! Haha! Because I made the ingot cast and the pickaxe head cast, I'll do that now quickly. The liquid slime bucket, I don't think I need this. I should be okay using this with the slime sapling that I made. So I'll go for the reward bag. And if you didn't go for the slime sapling, there are ways around that, so it's not like you lose it forever. You still have a decent chance of... You don't just have a chance, you can still get everything in the mod without choosing that slime sapling. It just makes it a little easier. It's a good thing to choose, basically. And following that is the automation thing, which, well, I've already made all these things. Vacuum hopper, autonomous activator, and aqueous accumulator, so I just choose a reward bag. Next would be making a steam dynamo. I'll just craft that, but I won't use it. Killing the zombies, I don't particularly care about. We can now do steel-powered flight, but it's a bit of a pain. Let's check these out. A good and a basic reward bag. Basic one gives me a... darn! Butterfly. So in this mod there's multiple things you can breed. You can breed fish, you can breed trees, you can breed bees, and you can breed butterflies, I think. I just don't think the butterflies do very much. They're just sort of there. Whereas at least the bees can produce stuff, the trees can give you wood. Which, yes, fair enough, if you're into that, it's fine. And the fish also give you stuff, the fish are very similar to the bees. And, oh, lettuce seed. It's actually not so bad, but not so good either. It's meh. Problem is you end up getting these seeds anyway, so... Boat with feather falling 5 on it. The reason that's not a completely terrible reward is because you can take the feather falling out of it, put it on a different item, using later machines that we will make, but probably never use. Anyway, it's definitely been an episode. I hope you enjoyed, and for next time I'll prepare some more interesting stuff, but as I said, I consider this series to be half tutorial, so I want to make sure everything is understood, and the functioning of the mods at least is clear. I don't want to just put you in front of sort of finished products and tell you, okay, this works, just deal with it. I want to make sure you understand why it works. So, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye!